Hello and once again welcome to the Heavy Gear 2 Summer Dueling League. That's turning into a bit of a fall league, but that's okay. We like fall better anyway. Here, this is Halfpenny, and here I am once again in my black cat named Alligator, going up against Gabriel, who opted for an assault gear, so a very heavy chassis, I believe with a medium autocannon and a heavy rocket pack, interestingly enough. The heavy rocket pack is a pretty cool weapon in Heavy Gear 2. I mean, my favorite thing about it is how cool it looks. It leaves the thick missile trails that kind of hang and drift in the wind versus all the lighter rocket packs. You see, there's the trails there. All the lighter rocket packs have trails that quickly dissipate. There I am with the first kill there. And here you'll see a bug that happens on occasion here. I'm not sure what happens, but this I very clearly blew up, and we were both. I said, "Wow, nice shot," and he said, "I didn't shoot you." So we looked, and as you see, I don't have a. He doesn't have a. You know, he doesn't have anything on the scoreboard yet. So something just happens. It's one of those things with this game, janky as it is. And speaking of, that actually relates to my thoughts on the heavy rocket pack class of weapons, the incendiary and the regular heavy rocket packs. They're cool. I like them, but the way that they worked in Heavy Gear 1, and I believe the way they're supposed to work in lore, is they saturate an area with indirect fire. Technically, you can still use them like that here. You can aim high like I do with the other rocket packs that I use, and you can let the rockets drop on top of your target, but the range is so long on them that it's kind of not the most practical thing. So they're very much direct fire weapons here when I believe they're supposed to be indirect fire. That's one of the things that I wish happened in this game. I wish the heavy rocket packs kind of shot up in a high arc and dropped, but that's neither here nor there. For this particular thing, there's lots of little tiny things that I wish Heavy Gear 2 did, but I think it was a pretty famously rushed game and a difficult development, and that's just one of those things that happened because of that. But there I am with the next kill there. Regardless, the heavy rocket pack is a very dangerous weapon. It's pretty high damage. You can get the 48, which shoots a lot of rockets at a time, and you can still effectively saturate an area. It's just more in a direct way. You know what I mean? Anyway, here we go. On the next round here, we're trying to use this rock here, this boulder here. He got jump jets, uh, and I kind of forgot. I mean, he very clearly had jump jets in the previous rounds, but he kind of waited for me, and I hesitated, and he took advantage because I was kind of holding still. He jumped over that rock, which you can do without jump jets, but with the jump jets, it changes the arc so much that you have to get used to it. It's a little bit unexpected at first. I don't know what I'm doing here. You never really want to hold still, but I don't know. I'm kind of refamiliarizing myself with the controls and so on. It has been more than a month since I last had my rounds, had my fight, my previous fight, I should say. Let me try that again. It's been more than a month since my last fight. Those trails are so beautiful, man. I wish all the rockets had that. That's a nice shot there. Just point blank, a direct hit. Usually with the rockets, all varieties of the rockets, you rely more on splash damage. You kind of tend to shoot at the feet. You tend to rely on the splash damage aspect of it. But especially with the heavy rocket packs, I'm not sure what that was. If you get direct hits on those and enough of them, it can be pretty devastating, especially because I don't have a particularly large amount of armor. I'm just rushing him down there. The strafe at the end was helpful, I think. I was taking some hits, and that last strafe at the end, I think, threw him off just enough to where I could get the kill. Around now is when I'm beginning to think that the heavy anti-air cannon probably isn't the best choice, and I think for the next dueling league we do, I'll probably go for a different main weapon. My main weapons are essentially my medium rocket packs here, because I have found lately that my heavy anti-air cannon is very ineffective. I kind of chose it for emotional purposes. I kind of just like the way it sounds, and I like the rate of fire on it, so it just kind of feels cool. But it doesn't feel that cool when it's not doing that much damage, to be honest. There you go. See, I'm pelting him. And not that much is happening. And did manage to get it after many shots. Alright. Again, this is my first tactic. I want to kind of make them react first. Shooting from that far away, I always make that mistake. I get overeager at the very beginning of the round on this map in particular, where I just shoot, and no matter what angle I go for, the medium rocket pack will never make it to the other side. It's better to wait a little bit. That was a pretty nice shot, if I do say so myself. Although it wasn't really me. That rocket just kind of, in its swarming pattern, just swerved right into him at the last minute there. But yeah, like, I know that my rockets aren't really... But I see, this is a little bit better. I see him going, I go for the shot there. I don't go out right off the bat. I wait for him to get closer. And he very smartly uses jump jets very well to avoid the initial round, although I still think I got some hits on him there. There you go. That's why they call it the anti-air cannon. And here we go. Still got the debris burning from the previous round. You know, we love that. He's not closing the distance, so I am trying to close the distance and just go... I'm still landing short, by the way, as you can see. He's just going around the edge there, trying to... But that's not really a good idea, especially because he's closer to that wall. If those that means there's essentially two angles that the rockets can do damage to him. They can either do damage by landing at his feet or landing right behind him. Again, bam, 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 bam. Finally, and I just whittle him down enough for the kill shot with the heavy anti-air cannon. Definitely go for a weapon that is more for use against gears, not aircraft. I would say that would probably be a good idea. Good hit on his part. He's reading me. There we go, jumping over, and he jumps over my rockets. That's fantastic. That's good movement. I can barely turn in this thing, and I got lucky there. My maneuverability is so low that it was tough for me to turn around on him, but he got unlucky, I think, because by all accounts that shouldn't have worked out for me. So, all right, good. See, he's catching on to jumping over the old rockets, and I try to jump over his, and again, by all accounts, that shouldn't have worked out for me. And that's first round down. Next round. This map is pretty interesting. I've never played it before. Ooh, there's my top secret desktop. We just picked essentially a random map from the list, and you know, maybe do your research first, because this map, to be fair, ended up being a little more interesting than it led on at first. It's just this crater. Not much going on, but these little hills in the middle of it do actually add a little bit of consideration. Not enough. I wouldn't say this is a good map. See how many times I had to hit him there. But you know, it's a quintessential dueling type map where, you know, if the spawning works correctly, it spawns you both facing away from each other, so you have to turn around to begin the fight. And you know, the little slopes do make things like rocket tactics a little bit interesting. It adds something to consider. Oh, he's taking that smoke for cover, and my anti-air cannon against his autocannon, trading like that is a losing battle for me. Got my fire control down with that shot. That means I think that my shots are going to be weaker. I got lucky that none of those hit, and I got extra lucky that I was able to get the kill there because I was in rough shape. That was some good shooting on his part. I don't know why I'm trying to keep the distance. I mean, it's not like I'm out of range of the medium autocannon, you know, from there. Look at that. That's some direct shooting with the rockets. That was a rocket to the face. Alright, there's that slope. A slope is definitely going to help me out. He's sparking a lot. Yeah. On the down slope, the rockets are... they're really tough to deal with. Because they can hit you on the floor at your feet, and there's also a little bit of a slope behind you that they can hit for extra damage and extra opportunity for damage. There's just a jump on his part. I don't know if I damaged his jump jets or what there, but he just kind of jumped in the air. It wasn't a... I don't think that was a jump jet jump. We must be coming near the end here. Let's see. Let's see. He's on the downslope, which is not as advantageous for the rockets, but still kind of works out. If you just kind of hit near their feet anyway, it'll still work out for you. It's just a little bit less foolproof. I'm trying to kind of stay up on the crest, but now I have the slope behind me, which is not good for me, so I'm going to try to turn in. He's got the slope downward behind him, which is good. It's declining behind him, whereas it was ascending behind me. Trying to turn, and I managed to get that. Pretty lucky, because my turn radius is so wide. Like, my turning rate is so low, it's so slow. It's just beautiful in this game to see those rockets come at you like that. Alright, 8-1. Oh, he went... That's good. That's good. See, he is making me react now. Because he just immediately goes for the rockets. And if he aims a little lower like that, actually, then that could be a real viable way to go. And after about 3,000 heavy anti-air cannon shots, he goes down. Alright, this is the last one for me. Let's see if he can get one here. It's been so long since this fight actually happened and me recording this that I can't remember. There we go. I got pretty fortunate with so few hits to take him down. I think I must have hit something critical or something. Alright, now the last one. We are doing the 0G fights now. And we have begun. I guess I see him. Again, we're both so ill-equipped for fighting in this environment. The rockets are completely useless here. And the autocannons, or the projectile weapons, are a tougher thing to deal with. See, what I did there, and it was on accident, but it's something you can get good enough to do on purpose, is I used sort of a slingshot method with the magnetic boots, where if you cause the attraction to begin when you're on the edge of a surface, then it'll pull you toward it, but then when you break the plane, then you'll just carry that momentum, and that's good for kind of an extra wrinkle to the maneuverability question of the 0G fighting. And once again, as you can tell, this fight, this duel is over. So I took the victory over him, over Gabriel. Good fight to Gabriel. But we always do the third round just for fun. And since it's just for fun, at least I like to do this 0G fighting. I like to hone my skills. Occasionally, we will do a real duel with stakes in this environment. And I like it, because I really love the 0G fighting in this game. The anime mecha 0G space fights are one of my favorite parts about this game. So I'm trying to kind of sneak up on them. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I'm just trying stuff. You know how it goes. So we're looking... And see, the magnet started to activate there, but then got messed up, and that kind of messed me up. It kind of stopped me cold, which can be dangerous. You want to try to avoid that. And there we go. I see him. We kind of just switch spots. See, he's using his rockets, but they just... his rockets are a better idea than mine. Still not a great idea, but they work because of their range. So they're a little better because of the range. I'm not sure. I think he's confused. I think, yeah, he doesn't. He thinks he sees me, but he doesn't. Now he sees me, and now it's getting kind of scary because those rockets are getting close, as are those medium autocannon shots. But I managed to get it there. Alrighty. Oh, there he is. Look out. He's going for the asteroid. I think he wants to take the fight to the asteroid. Respect, except now he's on the part of the asteroid that I could just pepper with rockets. One of the few instances where rockets might be okay. You can see the thought process. It's not a terrible idea. It's just the exact circumstances weren't going to work out for him in that in that scenario. And whoops, I had my rocket selected and they were not going to reach him, so I have to switch to the almighty heavy anti-air cannon. Trying to lead my shots just with the naked eye. That's not working out. He's out of range now. And I'm about to run out of ammo. Oh, he hits me. Trying to kind of see, now I'm strafing. I'm trying to kind of present the difficult target. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm kind of strafing back and forth in space. And I'm using my rockets for fun, and I can't hit him because why would I be able to hit him? And he got me. Come on. Good shooting. Good shooting. Again, I don't know why I even use my rockets at all. Oh, he's hitting me. Oh, he's hitting me. Okay, I got the lead a little bit. If he doesn't change his direction too much, then I can kind of work with that. But I don't know, man. I think we're both, no offense to Gabriel. Gabriel fought great, but I think we were both maybe a little bit pathetic in this in this space fight. I don't think it was the finest moment of either of us. So here's an interesting thing about the rockets. If you can hold your reticle still on a target, then all the rockets in Heavy Gear 2, this is pretty cool, all the rockets in Heavy Gear 2 will more or less land right on your reticle. Now that sounds crazy, because most of the time we see the rockets as this shotgun type of weapon that just blankets an area, and it's maybe not the best DPS, but it does a lot of area effect damage, and it can kind of intimidate. There's a psychological aspect, and there is a DPS aspect because you shoot so many of them. However, what a lot of people don't know is that if your target is kind of holding still, especially, and you just lay into them with the full salvo of rockets, all the rockets, they'll still swarm, but they will coalesce at the very end on the target. So in that case, what you saw, not in this previous shot, right there, it actually happened again. That's actually a pretty good object lesson of what I was just talking about, because it happened 2 kills before that as well. Is you see the rockets swarm, but they basically all hit. It happened again. They basically all hit on the point that you're pointing at with your reticle. So that's something to keep in mind. It's not always the most useful piece of information to remember in a dueling environment when both players are moving a lot, but in space it can be something you can do, because in space there's so many opportunities from how the maneuverability works for a guy to accidentally cause themselves to hold still or present a perfectly still target picture to their opponent. And so if you can get yourself in that situation and you happen to have rockets, just point right at them, let the whole salvo go, and almost every rocket will land right on them. They'll spread out like crazy, they'll still swarm, but they will converge at the last minute. And so that's a pretty cool quirk of Heavy Gear 2's rockets. Every class of rocket pack does that. Anyway, good fight to Gabriel. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. And we'll see you guys at the next fight.